Hi, everybody. It's me, Stephanie Watson, your psychic comedian from We Are Tree. Now, for those of you who know me, hi, guys. How are my trees today? And those of you that don't, well, you probably don't know what the heck this is all about, but stick around and you'll figure it out. So, what do we have today on the little brainola? We have perspective. Now, I'm not wearing my glasses, so if I look like I'm squinting, it's because I am. Anywho, yeah, we're talking about perspective and how it applies to the who and the what. Yeah, we're back to that, guys. Sorry, but this isn't part of that series. If you want to know that series, look back. You'll see it all, okay? But when we're talking about perspective, we have to remember that there's always at least two perspectives that we have, right? We have our what perspective, or the human perspective, and we have our who perspective, which is our, for the want of a better word, soul perspective, okay? Now, most of you guys, if not all, there's one or two baby souls out there, but most of you guys are just old souls. So when we look at things from the perspective of our soul, or the who, it seems a little less traumatic when we look at our own stuff, right? When we look at it from our what perspective, it's a lot fresher because we're looking at it just from this particular lifetime's perspective, okay? So here's what I want to say. When we are interacting with other beings, whether they're human, whether they're animal, whether they're extraterrestrial, whether they're interdimensional, however you want to put it, angelic, cosmic, however you want to put it. I'm not telling you what to believe. But when you're interacting with other beings, you're going to be doing it from your perspective. And it will either be from your soul perspective or your human perspective. But there's a third one, and that's a combination of the two. Ooh, that's kind of exciting. Yes and no. And here's why. Because our who and our what, let's just say they're blended, okay? Now, you know as well as I do that not every blend is good, right? Like, example, I love when they give me these examples. Example, I love DQ blizzards. Anybody else out there? They are delicious. And when you go and order one, well, depending on who's making it, right? Sometimes it'll just be so smooth and creamy and perfect. And then other times it's like, some of the milk is on the top and there's little chunks of ice cream that haven't really been mixed in. Another good analogy, thank you very much. Have you ever put curdled milk in coffee? Right? Try to stir that in, try to blend that up. No. Oil, water, blend it in, stir it up. It will always separate. Always. Right? So, that's what I mean by our who and our what are blended. Sometimes the blending is perfect. So well done, right? And what causes that blending? Well, we do. Ourselves, our human and our spiritual selves, cause that blending by what? The M word, kids. Meditation. I love to meditate. So meditation will really help you get to the inner crux of your who and your what. Now, here's where perspective comes in, especially during meditation. When we're trying, or we're determined, I shouldn't say trying, when we're determined to go within and try and heal those parts of ourselves that need healing, and we all have parts that need healing. I don't care if you say, I don't have anything that doesn't need healing. Yeah, girl, you do. Or yeah, boy, you do. Yeah, you do. Okay? There's stuff that needs healing. It needs it. So when we're going in to do that through meditation, through getting to inner self, higher self, using guides to help you along the way to get to the deepest, darkest points of who or what. Usually, I will tell you it's who, because it just is. I don't know why. It just is. It may have happened in the what, but the effect is on the who. Get that? Maybe a little bit. Ink. And that's why it's easier from the who perspective, because there's so much more experience that the who has than the what has. Okay? All right. Anyway, so when we get to that part of us, we sometimes, not always, but sometimes, especially if you're not, I won't say trained, but not experienced in meditation and not experienced with what can happen, what to expect, inner healing, quantum healing, things that reach deep into you and pull out that stuff that has to go, that no longer serves. And if you're not experienced with that, well, you're going to go from a what perspective every single time. You will. You're just going to go from a what perspective, because that's what we are used to in this lifetime. We are used to caring about putting the effort into the body, the pleasure, the pain, the accumulation of things, the love that we don't really understand the meaning of. Right? So we'll get to that in a minute, because that's something else they want me to get to. But where was I? Perspective. So we're going to always come from the perspective of the human when we're going into meditation, until we get used to what meditation is, until we understand what the purpose of meditation is, until we get that effect. Yes, thank you. Effect and affect are not the same thing. Affect is something that happens and has a relationship to a causal relationship, kind of, okay? So it affects you. Effect would be the outcome of that. Okay, I think I get that, right? It was so better explained to me in the shower. I can't remember that. So, affecting you is not the same as affecting you. Just know that. To affect something is to make something happen or change. To affect the effect of something is the outcome of the said change, perhaps. That'll work. For our purposes today, that will work. All right? So, a lot of times we confuse that, especially with our humanness. our human understanding. Now, that's another thing they wanted me to go into. Boy, they have a lot of things for us today. I don't know if we're going to get it all in one go. We may have to make this a two-part. We might. They're letting me know. So until we get to that point within self where we understand that affect and effect are different things, although they are related, they are two different things. Let me get back to perspective. Ooh, they just told me that the two perspectives, the who perspective, is really all about the affect of things. Whereas the what perspective is all about the effect of things. That makes sense to me. I get that completely. Okay, until we get to where the affect and the effect, we can see the correlation. That's when our perspective will become blended. Okay, I get that. That's when we can truly blend our who and our what. And no more chunks. No more, liquidy top, solid bottom, that kind of thing. So that is why meditation is so important, especially when we're trying to get to our purpose and to fulfill what it is that our purpose is, right? And again, I will never, ever tell you what your purpose is, but I'll be happy to hear you tell me. Because the only person who truly knows what your purpose is you. So nobody else can really tell you what your purpose is. And I think that's where we've gone wrong as a species, is trying to impart purpose onto others instead of letting them come to their own purpose. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. So, perspective. Now, let me go back to when we are interacting with other beings. Especially for those of us who are light workers and do readings for others, or are mentoring someone. Perspective is so important to remember and to work with in a positive way, okay? Because when you are trying to get someone else, when you were helping to guide someone else to where they feel they should be going, and that's important, where they feel they should be going, not where I feel they should be going, although sometimes, I don't know. Anyway, where they feel they should be going. It's important to remember that we are coming from our perspective of how we see them progressing. Okay? So it's important to check in with them. How do you see your progress? Get their perspective as well, right? Get perspective of others. I love when if you guys aren't coming on to the Psychic Roundtable, it's every other month. And I'm telling you, it's so beneficial because, you don't want to hear me talking a million times a day, right? But to get perspective from others who have these gifts, and don't get me wrong, I believe we all have these abilities. Some of us really pump them up. We're really in that, spiritual gym, and pumping up the volume, baby. And others of us are not. So when we decide to go to the spiritual gym, well, we need spotters, right? Just like a regular gym. We need people there to pull us up when we get a little too far in, not knowing what we're doing. That's, I like that. Because, when I first started, I had no idea that I could ask my guides to get me out of stuff, or that I could ask them to clarify things, or I had no idea, no clue whatsoever. So I would just be like, blah, 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 crazy, messed up, not knowing what the heck is going on, until I talked to one of my mentors, and I had two very wonderful, beautiful women who are they're soul sisters. They're just amazing. And when I was able to bounce things off of them, they could see from their perspective, their blended perspective, which I did not yet have. Okay? I was still oil and water. So they could see from their blended perspective and able to give me those little nuggets of, did you ask your guides? No, why would I do that? Yeah. because that's not something we're taught, right? That's not a what thing. That's definitely a who thing, right? So until we get to that part when we're meditating where we have a certain amount of blend for our perspective, then we have to be very conscious of which perspective we are using. Okay? So I think that's all I have for you today. Is that good? We'll save that for another day then. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. I hope everyone is well. Again, if you like this, certainly hit like. And that's all for now. I hope you all live blessed. I love you, my trees. You all rock. You really do. You just keep me going. You keep me down to earth. You just keep me going. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully it won't be as long between this one and that one, but I guarantee nothing. All right. Love you all. Bye.